Hey guys, it's Sean Dungo and welcome to my YouTube video about the 2020 presidential candidates. Okay guys, this is Andrew Yang, and according to Yang2020.com, he is an entrepreneur, he's a father and a husband, he's also a nonprofit leader. In 2012, he sold his education company and got married to his wife. He says during this time, the country was in basically like a financial crisis and he wanted to help do something about it. He is also the founder of Venture for America, which is an organization dedicated to rejuvenating local economies. During the 2020 debate, he was asked a question. Let's take a look at how Mr. Yang responded.
Here in Houston, the school district is facing yet another year of spending cuts. Like schools across the country, the system faces many challenges. One of them, thousands of students are leaving traditional public schools and going to charter schools. You're the most vocal proponent on this stage for charter schools. You've said that Democrats who want to limit them are, quote, just jumping into bed with teachers' unions and doing kids a disservice. Why isn't taxpayer money better spent on fixing traditional public schools?
Let me be clear, I am pro-good school. I've got a kid, one of my little boys just started public school last week, and I was not there because I was running for president. So we need to pay teachers more because the data clearly shows that a good teacher is worth his or her weight in gold.
I completely agree with this. We do need to pay teachers more. Teachers do need to be paid more. Better pay equals, in my opinion, better efforts. I think that they would want to come to work more. There would be more positive environments for the children because they're not stressed about all the financial things that they have to worry about outside of the classrooms. So I do believe that if teachers get paid more, they will perform better. So I think that was a very interesting thing for him to bring up and a very interesting point for him to have, and I completely agree. This brings me to the next candidate to run against Mr. Trump in the 2020 presidential campaign, which is Mr. Julian Castro. So, according to Julian.com, Julian was inspired by his grandmother, who came to the United States when she was only 7 years old. He says he's inspired by her and everything that she went through. He said he also has a twin brother, and they were both raised by a single mom. He is from the west side of San Antonio. His brother's also a member of Congress, so, like politics running the family, so, yeah, that's pretty cool. Mr. Castro was also the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and he also served in Obama's cabinet. Mr. Castro proposes a good point. Let's take a look.
Today, our schools are segregated because our neighborhoods are segregated. Now, I have an education plan, like a lot of folks up here, that would pay teachers more, that would recruit diverse ranks of teachers, that would invest in our public schools, but I also believe that we have to connect the dots.
I do believe that less segregated schools are definitely better. The neighborhoods are definitely segregated. If the area is full of minorities, more than likely the neighborhood school will be full of minorities. So, of course, the better areas will have the better schools where there's more money and probably more parents donating and things of that nature. So I think it's important for the government to step in and make sure that the schools that don't have as much as the public schools in the good areas get the same amount of resources and have the same amount of resources to help the students learn better. So I think this is a pretty important point that Castro brought up. It's really important. For example, in my area, which is the Borum Hill area of Brooklyn, there are two schools. There's one school, and they're both public, and one of them has more minorities than the other one. The other one, there's mostly white students and Caucasian students. But in order for, even though it's the same area, they do about like some type of block radius. So where the housing authority, like the low income houses are, they are set up to where when you cross a certain block, if you're beyond a certain block, you can apply to the school that has most of the majority of the kids, of the white kids and the Asian kids, and I think that this is pretty weird. I think if you live in a neighborhood, you should be able to go to any school that's in that neighborhood, and as a parent, you should be able to pick. I don't think it should be set off or cut off by a block. I think this is definitely a problem, especially since the other school have higher reading and math levels. I think it's not fair to parents who just want their kids to be in an environment that's better and more positive, and just overall be in a school that's better for their children. So, yeah, I think this is pretty interesting. What the president is, I just hope that they will focus on the request and the needs of the public rather than their own self-agenda. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, and welcome to my